Day 10 of the Oscar Pistorius trial comes to a close, and what a day it has been. More photographs shown in court, and you couldn't have had more of a contrast today. On the one hand, we saw Oscar Pistorius, the Paralympian athlete, sitting on his bench, wearing spectacles, dressed in a smart black suit, taking notes throughout proceedings. And then on television screens broadcast in the courtroom, which have been set up specially for this trial, we saw photographs taken from the crime scene. Photographs of Oscar Pistorius not long after he shot his girlfriend at River Steenkamp. Police found him without a shirt on, wearing shorts, his body smeared in blood. And there he stands in these photographs, Oscar Pistorius, the murder accused. We then saw more photographs of the crime scene. Yesterday we were taken up the stairs, this bloody trail along the stairs, the upper landing, and then eventually to the toilet and the bathroom where River Steenkamp was shot. We saw the 9mm Parabellum, next to it 2 iPhones, and that will obviously be interesting once Oscar Pistorius takes a stand. If he does indeed take a stand, he's expected to. I'm sure he's going to be asked what those iPhones were actually doing in the bathroom. The person leading the evidence was Colonel Scoombie van Rensburg, still in the stand. He was the first officer on the scene, and he took control of the crime scene. But there was more disturbing evidence that emerged today of tampering with the scene. Colonel Scoombie van Rensburg told the court that he was furious when he saw 2 forensic officers pick up the gun that Oscar Pistorius used to shoot River Steenkamp and were not wearing hand gloves.
I was busy talking on my cell phone, arranging and communicating with some of my superiors and also as well as Warrant Officer Botha, when I heard that the firearm has been cocked. So I turned my head to where the firearm has been cocked to see what is going on, and at that particular moment the ballistic expert was having the firearm in his hand without gloves. So I stopped immediately talking and I asked him, "What are you doing?" And then he turned his head to me and he was looking, and then he realized there was no hand gloves on. And then he said, "Sorry." And he put the magazine back in the firearm and he put it back on the carpet.
Barry Roux then took over cross-examination, and he made a very important point in the beginning. He said he wanted to know from the state if they were going to call Hilton Botha. Now you remember, Hilton Botha was the officer in charge of the investigation, accused of bungling it, of making crucial mistakes, and then came up this attempted murder charge, and so he was actually taken off the case. And it's not clear if the state is going to call him. He's on their witness list. Kerry Nel said he'll see how the evidence goes. The defense obviously wants him to be called because they want to have their day in court with him. Barry Roux wants to get his teeth into Hilton Botha and ask him a lot of hard questions. In the absence of Botha, Roux said, well, then he regards Scoombie van Rensburg as being there, as taking Botha's place, and that he really is a proxy in many ways for Hilton Botha. So he spoke to him about the crime scene, and along the way I tried to point out that the photos that were taken were not actually what he found, that in some instances they moved. So for example, a fan and unplugged it, this all-important fan that Oscar Pistorius brought in from the balcony, and then took another photo at another position. But he said that wasn't made clear from the photographs. He also questioned Scoombie van Rensburg's powers of observation, gave him a little spot the difference test in court with 2 photos. He failed that test. So again, it wasn't another good day for the police in the South African courts. Coming up next week, we're going to see new witnesses on the stand, more expert testimony, and possibly 1 or 2 more lay witnesses.